Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Just now I was riding, I saw a guy got into a pretty bad accident. I don't really know whether he survived or not. His motorcycle is totaled 100%. But speaking about good things, I'm on my way to try 750SR-S from CFMOTO. They have this special day where you can test ride the bike. Now, I feel like I can only ride for 2-3 minutes on a small ass parking lot, but still, it's better than nothing. And I guess it's time for us to witness the bike for the first time. Woo! Look at that beauty, bro. All right. Wait a sec. Let's park here. All right. All right, dude, check this beautiful bike out. Well, do I like the way it looks? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But honestly, I was expecting this bike to be bigger. Like, it's actually pretty short in terms of its wheelbase. And in person, even though this is wide version of a bike, it looks dope. I know that some people hate those pipes, but honestly, they look pretty good. Glass white, the seat looks very nice. We have this beautiful front suspension, which is full adjustable from KWB. Brembo brakes, obviously. 80 Nm of torque, 111 horsepower. 213 kilograms is the carb weight of the bike, and I can see right away that the frame is very similar. 48 tooth sprocket. Let's check this one. Yeah, also 48, right? What? 43 tooth sprocket. I feel like we'll be able to get all the way up to 100 kilometers per hour in the first gear. Yeah, dude, looks dope. We have those sporty tires. They are sportier than the ones on 675SR, but the bike is actually less aggressive in terms of its ergonomics. The seat height is 805 millimeters. This is our lot. Just now I was riding, as you could see, my 703 single R, and it would be pretty cool to compare these two bikes because initially I wanted to purchase this bike, but it took way too long for this bike to be released. The price of the bike is, roughly speaking, 45K. So after taxes, it'll be at about 50,000 RMB. Yeah, guys, I feel like I'm gonna hop on the bike in a minute and we'll see how it feels, finally. See you in a second. Alright, guys, time has come. They gave me the key. Do you want to see the key? This is our key, just a card. So you put it here and the bike, you see, our dash is here. By the way, after my Zontis, it doesn't look too big, but it's 6.2-inch dash. Honestly, it looks very elegant. I would say that it looks better than the one on 675SR. Alright, guys. Woo! It's time for us to start the freaking bike. First gear, who the hell did not put the bike into neutral? Alright, now ready? Ooh! Alright, so currently we have 18 kilometers on the odometer. Our fuel consumption is 17.7 liters per 100 kilometers. I feel like the official fuel consumption is supposed to be at about 5-6 liters. By the way, we also have tire pressure, ABS, traction control. You see, we don't have key ignition, as I've said. Over here we have traction control button. So the cockpit looks very similar other than the dash, which looks better, I would say. And our forks look different too. Steering damper, 17-liter tank capacity. Woo! I've been told that I can try it out. Вот зажирикайте, Тишима. Ха-ха, сеся. Alright, guys. Woohoo! Oh yeah, dude, it's heavy. It's heavy. Okay, it's heavy. When I sit on the bike, I can tell that it's kind of stiff. So the rear shock is relatively stiff. When you do this, the bike indeed feels much heavier than 675SR. It's heavy, it feels bulky, but our wheelbase, as I've said, is relatively short. Okay guys, first gear. Woo! Alright, crazy smooth, zero vibrations. Okay.
Gaso.
This bike would definitely feel better on a straight line, where you can feel the power of the beast. This is so far the most powerful bike from a Chinese manufacturer I've ever ridden. U-turn. Oh shit, not much space. Woo. So they made a mistake because the bike doesn't feel as maneuverable in conditions like these, obviously, because this is a tiny ass parking lot, and yet it feels kind of alright. It doesn't feel as heavy when you ride as I expected, but does it feel as light as, let's say, 675SR? No. You definitely feel the difference. And let me just accelerate. Ooh, not bad. Geez, actually I want to go a little bit further, but I'm not sure whether they'll allow me or not. You know what? Let's try to check the brakes. Well, brakes aren't bad. Okay, we did not do a stoppie. Well, it's not bad. Alright guys, so I was not speaking much, but I'll tell you that slow speed maneuverability isn't as bad as I expected, just because this bike is kind of less aggressive in terms of its ergonomics. So if you don't really go too hard on the bike, it doesn't feel too bad. You see, we can veer around. I don't even know what you have to do here, but it's not bad. I was riding for what, 5 minutes? Do I feel tired? No, not at all. So the ergonomics is very inviting. It's definitely not an aggressive sports bike like 675SR. You feel the weight once you stop. It's much heavier. Okay. Whew. Dudes, let me stop for a sec. You feel the weight of this bike once you stop, but just now I was riding for what, like few minutes. I was maneuvering around, trying to flick the bike, And surprisingly, it's really easy to do. Bottom and torque on this bike is pretty good as for inline 4. It's not as strong as I would say on 675 or SR, because again, this is an inline 4, but the power distribution is very linear. Does it sound good? Well, of course, it's, as I've said, inline 4 engine, and it sounds amazing. Does it sound better than other inline 4s? I would say it sounds pretty much the same. Design-wise, from this angle, it looks pretty dope. Actually, guys, I'll tell you that it looks super elegant. I know that some people don't like those pipes, some people don't like the way it looks, some people would hate those winglets. Yeah, this is definitely an overkill for a motorcycle which weighs 213 kilograms. You can say whatever you want about CFMOTOs, but when you ride one, you feel no vibration. You feel that the bike is so well put together. Nothing is vibrating, nothing is buzzing. Everything is super sturdy, super rugged, super nice. The only freaking downfall, and you cannot argue, is the freaking weight, dude. 213 kilograms, this is our official weight. 675 was 200 kg, not 195, so if this tendency goes on, this bike should be at about 217 kilograms. I really like this matte finish of the bike, even though this is just plastic, which is quite hollow. It doesn't look too bad, and in general, on the pictures, white color didn't feel too appealing to me, but now as I look at it, yeah, it looks pretty dope. Yeah guys, the front end of the bike is bulky and big. The rear end of the bike is kind of short and small. I don't know, doesn't make any sense. It looks like a tiger, you know? If you see a tiger in person, the front end is bulky and powerful and the rear part is not as strong. So this is just the same case. We have 320mm brakes. They're predictable. You don't have an option to turn ABS off. Do I like it more than 675SR? 675SR is gonna be more appropriate for twisties, I believe. It will be better for a track because it's lighter. The carb weight of this machine is 213 kilograms, and I would say it's a little bit unacceptable. I do not want to accept a sports bike with a carb weight of 213 kilograms. But, as I've said, once you ride even on a lot like that, the bike is maneuverable enough, flickable enough, and fun to ride. I think the main reason the bike feels so nimble on the lot is the throttle response. CFMOTO's throttle has always been good, but the one on 750SR-S feels even better than before. Not that on 675SR throttle was bad, but the improvement definitely helps, especially for a bike that weighs around 213 kilograms. Plus, the suspension is sporty but not too stiff. And as I've mentioned before, the ergonomics are more relaxed, though maybe less ideal for twisties or track days. So this is something we have to take into account as well. If you would compare this bike, let's say, to Zanti 703, which is cheaper, which has to be outdated because this is the brand new CFMOTO, that bike is gonna feel better in conditions like these. The acceleration would be pretty much the same, but again, we're gonna test the acceleration in my next video, so I'm gonna rent this bike for a week or maybe for a month. So if you want to see more videos with this bike, don't worry, more videos are coming. Yeah guys, This was my first time ever looking at 750SR-S in person. This was my first time ever trying the bike on a lot like that. Do I like it? Yeah, I do. I'm crazy excited to test ride the bike in my next videos where we're gonna measure acceleration from 0 to 100, 150 kilometers per hour. We're gonna try to do some wheelies. We'll see, dudes. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and as always, I'm gonna see you in my next videos. Bye everybody. Take care. Let's not drop the bike.